Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm Dear Darling, and shall we see what's going on a lovely island of Fawnhollow today in a morning episode. And probably what will end up being a bit of a shorter one than usual. And I assume this video is going to be about 15 minutes or so because I'm going to be busy. I'll be leaving in about, let's say half an hour. Half an hour? Maybe a bit less, more than half an hour, I don't really know, because I will be donating blood later today. So I got to make sure I stay plenty hydrated and all that good stuff. You know, it's very important. It's very make sure you eat a lot of food. No, not a lot of food. Make sure you're just well fed, I suppose, and then have drunk a lot of water. So anyway, good morning, everyone. Right now in Fawnhollow, it's 10:20 AM on Sunday, April 23rd, 2023. Again, we're early enough that Daisy May is selling turnips, but we're not buying any. But yeah, they tell you basically just to make sure you stay hydrated, you eat enough food, probably because they don't kind of want you to faint in the middle of, I was going to say the procedure. Procedure's not, I'm not sure procedure is really the right word, but like, I guess it is a procedure, but I don't really know how to describe it. Ain't no party like a birthday party. Ain't that the truest thing anyone could ever say, Phoebe. Because I guess they, kind of don't want you to faint because, I mean, they are taking out like a pint or so of your blood, which is about like an eighth, maybe? I don't actually know if it's about a pint. I think it's about a pint. That feels like it makes sense to me, but I can't really be certain, to be honest. I guess I'll find out, and you know, I'll talk about it tomorrow, like what those adventures sort of are. But yeah, I mean, I don't think I've actually ever fainted before, which might sound a bit weird to say. Well, I don't know if that is weird to say. Do you think the average person has fainted at least once in their lifetime? Probably. I feel like I've been like extremely exhausted enough that I've like been close to collapsing, but I'm not sure if I've ever fainted before. At least because the way I picture fainting is like, you see something happens, like maybe if you don't like, say, or blood, or if you don't like insects, or like a shock happens to you in some form. I'm just going to sit down and chat. This is very much a chatty sort of episode, so I don't know. I guess we'll sit down on the steps of Town Hall. Yeah, but you see something which is like triggers some response in you, and then you faint. You just you don't remember anything. You just pass out. I was actually talking to someone who said that they used to never faint outside of like needles or blood or that sort of thing, but then he got a blood test recently, and then he actually just fainted for the first time, and I was like, whoa. And he was like, whoa, and I was like, whoa, I didn't know that could happen, but I guess that makes sense. People change, people develop things, whatever. Sorry, sip of water. So maybe that will happen to me. I'll be surprised because, I mean, I do, have like blood tests and things semi-regularly, I've never been particularly bothered by needles or that sort of thing. And this is not meant to be disparaging to anyone who is, because, it's fair enough. There are things which certainly probably do evoke a similar response to me. Maybe I just don't know it yet, to be honest. Maybe the shock of something will just completely jolt me, and maybe I'll just faint, but I can't really say what that is for certain because again I don't know off the top of my head. My throat. What that could be, to be honest. Well, if I had to bet on something which would make me faint, what would it be? I don't know, because normally things which make me feel more uncomfortable, I think, than the average person. It's definitely things to do with grossness or things which I'd seem dirty. So I don't know, something like that. I don't even really want to think about it, to be perfectly honest. It sounds quite not conducive to my own mental well-being. I mean, it's not like it's particularly going to mentally ruin me. I mean, but just sort of why do that to yourself, I guess is what I mean. And I don't really have a good answer. I don't think I have an answer, full stop, to be honest. But it's I don't know. I mean, what are common phobias which people might faint at? I don't know necessarily if it's only phobias that people faint at, and it might be something completely different, whatever, however it particularly works. On a biological level, it's is it your brain doesn't get enough blood for that moment or something, so it just passes out because it can't keep executive function going? That's not a word. Because I know low blood pressure, you can be quite prone to fainting. I have a friend who used to faint reasonably often. I don't know if he still does, to be honest, and I haven't asked him about that since, but I remember he fainted like in school once. I don't know why I'm telling other people's stories rather than my own stories. I guess because none of my stories really apply to this sort of thing. But yeah, he fainted back in like school once or something, just like during one of the lessons. And it wasn't in a class I was in, so I can't really regale the entire tale. Not that there is much of a tale to regale. Yeah, but it's something like that, right? And I assume it's some sort of like fight or flight response where your body just goes, like, shuts down. Because it's actually not fight or flight, right? It's fight, flight, or freeze. And there's actually technically meant to be like a fourth one or something, but I don't remember what that one is off the top of my head. I just read it somewhere, and I was like, oh, you know, I'm going to take that as fact without any sort of further research or investigation into that, which is not exactly what you should be doing, I would argue. I'd very much support the fact of fact-checking things and being able to investigate things thoroughly before, you know, you just draw any sort of conclusions. But here I am, you know, being hypocritical, and you better practice what you preach, because, darling, I'm a genie in a bottle. You better rub me the right way. Okay, well, this is a mishmash of, like, a load of songs there. Yeah, so basically, how does fainting work? So we go to a good old Wikipedia, never fails me. I just searched waiting, not fainting. Fainting. Syncope. I never really thought about the fact it would have like a proper medical term, huh? It's a loss of consciousness and muscle strength characterized by fast onset, short duration, and spontaneous recovery. Decreased blood flow in brain? Okay, so that's a fair guess by me, typically from low blood pressure. So apparently, you know, okay, so what is like causes? Neurally mediated syncope. So maybe I'm going down the wrong path. I keep going for like things which would like shock me into fainting or something like that. Which I'm sure something like, I guess it's a bit macabre to talk about, but like, you know, large enough physical trauma will probably make me faint. I'd assume. I'm not like superhuman or anything. I don't think I have above average pain tolerance. I think it's distinctly average, to be honest. In fact, I would argue probably my pain tolerance, I'd imagine, is a bit worse than the average person's. But I genuinely don't know. So I guess I can't really argue that. Now I think about that, I was going to be like, oh, I can argue it, but I can't really think of like any examples off the top of my head which would really support my point. I forgot what I was going to say about all of this. I had a point I was going, oh yeah, I was going the wrong way. Like, what about something that would fit me into fainting? What about something that would like relax me into fainting? You know, like vasodilation, right? Like maybe being in a sauna or something for a really long time. Well, actually, I think that makes you sort of like pass out from heat stroke or something, doesn't it? But I guess that's still passing out, isn't it? I don't really know. I'm not really a medical professional. Anyway, what you meant to do when someone passes out? Well, I suppose you're meant to do like emergency preparations or whatever. Dr. ABC, you know, just like check her breathing, certainly, and that sort of thing. If they're breathing all right and their airways aren't blocked, and you can put them in a recovery position, they'll be fine. You're probably not going to get response. I don't know, I'm going backwards with Dr. ABC. Dr. ABC, danger, look for any danger. What caused them to faint? Hopefully it doesn't make you faint as well. R, that's response. You try and, you know, to get them to respond to you, and if they don't, then so be it. A, check her airways. B, see if they're breathing. And then C, time to start CPR if they're not. Whoa! Hold on a minute. Apollo actually got sad from something. You both got sad from something. Are you alright? I felt like I was doing my best, but I guess I can't let this go. No, what the heck? Oh, you were like fine immediately. What on earth? you stayed sad for about a good old 5 seconds, then look at poor Lily here. Even though I tried to do the right thing, I only managed to mess things up even worse. Oh, Lily. Can we make you feel happy instead? Audie, come on, you're an absolute bundle of joy. No? Okay, well, sometimes you want to just feel sad, and that's okay. And we're going to do what any good friend will do and just sit here and completely ignore them. Oh, I'm going to say, I'm giving her space. I don't know why my phone's got such angry vibrations, to be honest. It's not good vibrations, they're very angry vibrations. The Beach Boys would not be impressed. But what was I going to say? Yeah, fainting. I don't know. I mean, maybe like narcoleptic. Have I ever maybe like passed out from like sleep exhaustion? I feel like I've probably been close, like I've been like super exhausted at some points, but I'm not sure if I've actually straight up passed out. I'm not sure if it really counts if I go into bed and I just like faint or like pass out or sleep like there. Does that count? I don't really know, to be honest. It feels like it's a different sort of scenario, but yeah, again, maybe medically they're a very similar sort of thing. Vasovagal syncope. It's got a whole Wikipedia article on it. Is a brutal unconscious due to neurologically induced drop in blood pressure? Okay, I know that. Before an affected person passes out, there may be sweating, decreased ability to see, or ringing ears. Oh, you know what? I think the closest probably I've been to like passing out is from passing out from hunger. Like I can't. I have this distinct memory of what it feels like, but I can't remember what I was doing or why I didn't eat food. But like I didn't have a meal for the entire day, and I did like some exercise or something. I can't remember, and I felt like I just remembered it because it says a ringing in the ears, a decreased ability to see. I felt like. Not like my vision was literally going blurry, but like I couldn't focus on things, and I remember like my ears sort of ringing, and I remember like, you know, pins and needles. I had that basically like all through like my body. But I think I might have just been like super hungry. Triggered by seeing blood, pain, emotional stress, or prolonged standing. Actually that's a very common thing, isn't it? That like if you like stand up for too long, you lock your legs, and you actually like cut off like some of your blood circulation. Or not cut it off. If you cut it off, you'd probably just like die, I guess. But you restrict it so much that I guess your brain doesn't get enough blood and you just pass out. Situate. There's different types of reflexes by seeing something. A trigger of some sort. Situational is triggered by urination, swallowing, or coughing. Huh? I don't know. You can pass out from just like swallowing? That's crazy. Prolonged standing, emotional stress, pain, sight or blood, fear of needles. Time varying magnetic field. That seems like such a different one compared to the others. It's like, oh, you know, prolonged standing, I can see that, you know, it's like it's not like an intense form of exercise or something, but it's something which can definitely, you know, I suppose anything which can bring you pins and needles feels like it logically could make you pass out for some reason. Emotional stress and pain, that seems completely reasonable. Sight of blood, that seems like something which could cause emotional stress. The fear of needles, absolutely. And then time varying magnetic field is so transcranial magnetic stimulation is a non-invasive form of brain stimulation. What about changing magnetic fields? Does that make sense to me in my head? Because obviously electrical signals and magnetism are very strongly linked together. I never really thought about this, but maybe your brain like actually produces like a very tiny magnetic field, right? Because it has... Well, okay, so if there are like neurons firing in your brain, I don't know if they're literally electrical currents. That's probably a bit of a reductive way to look at it, I'd imagine. So I'm surprised magnetism has like any sort of effect on the brain. Like, what would it have effect on? I guess we have iron in our blood? It sounds silly to say, but the iron in our blood is still magnetic. Or is it not magnetic anymore? Is it like in a different form which sort of like muffles it for magnetism? Or if you had like a strong enough magnet, you could actually just magnetize all the iron out of someone's body? And I don't know, I really thought about this before. I feel like that's a silly question, but I don't really know what the answer is. Because it sounds like the answer should be no. But I can't really think of a good reason why. It's not like, oh, you know, metals being in liquid like stops their magnetic properties. That's it. You know, magnetism can go through like a lot of different mediums. I don't really know. How does this adverse effects procedure? Physics. Okay, physics of... Oh my god, I'm not reading all of this. So generate electrical current across a scalp and skull. Okay. So it uses magnets to induce a current across a scalp and skull. I guess that's physically possible. Like that. Technically. That's another question. If you have a strong enough magnet, can you induce a current in literally anything? Because I guess everything's got like a resistance. Is, you know, some of it is just like ridiculously high. But I mean, if you had like an infinitely strong magnet, I don't really know. A plastic enclosed coil of wires held near a skull, when activated, produces a varying magnetic field orientated orthogonally to the plane of a coil. Okay. I mean, but those are just like unnecessary details, I'm going to be honest. A changing magnetic field induces electric current in the brain that activates nearby nerve cells in a manner similar to a current applied superficially of a cortical surface. So it is actually just inducing like currents in the brain, and your brain's just going, what is going on? I mean, it just like shuts off, I guess. That's crazy. It's about the same strength as the MRI. Huh. Then how does it affect... doesn't MRIs make people pass out? Like, I've been in an MRI. Or CT. Wait, I don't really know the difference. No, I've been in an MRI, I'm pretty sure. Why does that make people pass out more often? Maybe it does. Or maybe it's because this one's, like, varying. I don't really know. I never really thought about this. This is crazy. Man, medicine's so weird. Anyway, syncope is a really nice word, despite the fact it means just fainting. And I literally never even heard this word before. How do you pronounce it? Let's see. Define syncope, maybe?
Syncope.
Syncope. Syncope is like sympathy. Or in sync. Anyway, I'm going to round this episode off here. So if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares, greatly appreciated. Twitter, Discord down below. I hope we can see each other again. But for now, it's our farewell. So until next time. Oh, no, don't do this down. So get back up. Bye-bye for now.